Tonight on CTV News at 5.
There's some good deals out there. You just have to take your time and have a look around.
Black Friday blurs into Cyber Monday. Shoppers hunt for deals on and offline.
Well, inside the letter was a handwritten note, $40. Hopefully it pays for the meal. God bless.
And a little something for your trouble, how an order error served up cross-border kindness.
And some very cold air moving into the region tonight. Heavy snow and rain ahead Tuesday into Wednesday.
Live from the Maritimers News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopoulos. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, bargain blur. If you've been shopping up a storm over the last few days, you're not alone. Bargain hunters are out in full force on Black Friday and on the weekend. And today, many have taken the hunt online for Cyber Monday. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, it's getting harder to tell where one shopping holiday ends and the other begins. Vanessa.
That's right, Maria. And if one thing is for sure, shoppers are taking full advantage of deals both online and in store. After a short two-day break, shoppers hit the malls once again, this time hoping to cash in on Cyber Monday.
We've only just arrived, but we've got a jacket already, 60% off. I feel great about that. I wasn't looking for a jacket.
Retail experts say Canadians are expected to spend about $240 today, up 20% from last year.
People are still preferring sort of 60-40 to shop online, and the best deals, usually typically 25 to 30% on average are on Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
And while Cyber Monday is traditionally an online savings event, depending on where you're located, some prefer to do both.
Well, I'm in the country and it's hard getting down here sometimes. So it's a lot easier sometimes online.
Though small businesses don't typically participate in Black Friday and Cyber Monday promotions, they're glad to see more traffic coming their way because of it.
Especially from mid-November through to Christmas, online sales are through the roof here. Lots of people shopping from across the country, around the world, but majority from across Canada, especially with what's happening economically. People want to remain Canadian and they're shopping in country.
Shaw says there are good deals out there, but because of inflation and tariffs, consumers aren't necessarily spending like they used to.
You got about 50% of households who are filling that pinch right now based on studies. And so I think you'll find a lot of stockings filled with household goods, and you're going to get those oranges, but you might get a stick of deodorant or socks where people are sort of using, gifts to give essentials, because there's a lot of households that are definitely feeling the pinch economically.
But whether they're shopping for Christmas gifts or everyday essentials, consumers are always ready to snag a deal wherever they can.
There's some good deals out there. You just have to take your time and have a look around.
And as we get closer to Christmas, people will start thinking about Boxing Day deals, which is only 3 weeks away. Maria.
Oh, well, thanks for the reminder, Vanessa. CTV's Vanessa Wright for us in Halifax this evening. That actually brings us to tonight's web poll. We're asking, did you participate in Cyber Monday shopping this year? Your options are yes, I bought a few things, or yes, I did a lot of shopping. And your final option, no, I didn't shop on Cyber Monday. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see the latest poll results. The day isn't over yet, Todd. You can still get in on it. When I get home, I'll be logging in looking for some deals.
There's still time, and we will talk to a retail analyst later in the show about that and how much Canadians are actually spending. We know that household debt in this country is way up, but how's that factoring into the holidays? We know a lot of people in Nova Scotia were shopping at the liquor store today, Maria, because American booze back on the shelves, and Jonathan McGinnis will have a report on that. In other news, 4 of 5 people accused of plotting to kill the son of a New Brunswick couple who were found dead in their home back in 2019 made their first court appearance today. A 5th person? Well, we'll let Derek Haggett tell us about that tonight at 6 o'clock. That much talked about December 1st 8-cent a litre savings at the gas pumps in New Brunswick has not happened. A decision on Friday turned the tables on Premier Susan Holt's election promise. Today, during an unveiling of a new addiction center, she admitted she's frustrated about this. We will hear from her in your newscast. There's a plan in the works to make Nova Scotia a year-round destination. Tourism officials say that starts with addressing gaps in the workforce pool and challenges in winter transportation. It all comes as a major provincial conference on tourism strategies gets underway this week. Jesse Thomas went down to hear from them, and he'll have a report for us in the newscast. Well, not feeling a lot like summer right now, Galen Mitchell. We've got a very cold night on the way.
No, but I'm thinking if we're looking for year-round tourism, how about storm watching at Peggy's Cove?
Sure.
Might be able to do that a little bit later on this week. We do have a coastal storm that's going to be on its way in. Before that arrives, though, it is the cold arriving first. And you can see that colder air is already flooding in to Quebec into northern areas of New Brunswick. Edmundston at this hour is already sitting at -7. And most of the Maritimes tonight is headed into its coldest night of the season so far. A lot of low temperatures tonight. Will be falling several degrees below the freezing mark in many communities, especially in New Brunswick, down into the minus double digits. That colder air is being brought in by a northwest wind that is continuing right now, in most cases between around 10 and 30 kilometers per hour. And we're getting occasional gusts reported between 30 and 50. Over on radar and satellite, just a scattering of some light showers and flurries around now as we move through tonight. It's partly cloudy conditions. Our next weather system, the one's going to end up being a coastal storm, just getting its legs underneath it right now down near the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to be moving to the eastern seaboard, and they're strengthening quite a bit. So we have some warnings issued. These are yellow warnings issued for snowfall in northern areas of Nova Scotia. That's for Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday afternoon. Potential for snowfall amounts 15 to 25 centimeters, maybe more at higher elevations. And a rainfall warning out for Yarmouth and Shelburne counties, where overall rainfall totals could approach 40 to 60 millimeters. Other areas of Nova Scotia remain underneath the special weather statement for rain 30 to 50 millimeters, and southern parts of New Brunswick as well as Prince Edward Island underneath the special weather statement, potential 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. More on that when I'm back a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. We will see you a little later on. Right now, though, Santa Claus is keeping up appearances ahead of Christmas with a calendar full of parades right across the Maritimes. Thousands of people lined the streets of downtown Fredericton on Saturday evening for the Kin Club of Nashawaksis annual Santa Claus Parade. Our friends at Bounce 105.3, Move 106.9, and Pure Country 103.6 kicked off the parade by collecting donations and items for the city's annual McDonald's Toy Drive. The event, which featured schools, businesses, and local organizations, all led to the big finale. Ah, look at them, looking great. Santa Claus also made time for the parade in Annapolis Royal, Bridgewater, Charlottetown, Grand Bay Westfield, Rothsay, Sherbrooke Village, the Spryfield area of Halifax, and Sydney. Santa's schedule, of course, remains busy into December with several more parades in the weeks to come. You can find a full list on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. And a little later, you'll see him at a parade on Quimple Road as well. Speaking of parades, Santa stopped by this one too, as I said.
The dog lovers come out. The dogs love it. Everyone in the community comes out and watches.
It was all paws on deck for Quimple's annual pet parade. Festive Fidos next on CTV News at 5. Today is World AIDS Day. In Halifax, the Health Equity Alliance of Nova Scotia adorned the iron fence along the public gardens with over 300 donated hand-knitted red scarves to symbolize solidarity with those that are affected by HIV/AIDS.
We have knitting clubs across the province who get together and do this as a joint project, and they send one person into Halifax when they're doing a road trip or something to drop them off at our office. So sometimes people will show up with 30 scarves in a big, in a big carry-on. So the outpouring of support has been really wonderful.
Each red scarf has a note attached telling passersby to take one and bundle up if they could use a little warmth. Very nice. And Santa was busy this weekend, and not just at the North Pole or on all those parades. He was in Halifax Saturday leading a parade of dogs at the annual Christmas Pet Parade down Quimple Road. And as CTV's Jesse Thomas reports, it was all for a good cause, too.
The only thing louder than the jingle bells was the barking of dozens of dogs. Big, medium, small, and smaller. They strutted the sidewalks in everything from Christmas sweaters to reindeer antlers, and one even hitched a ride in a remote control car.
Because of COVID, and it just keep, the first year we started with about 15 dogs, and it's just continued to grow and grow, and it's just amazing because the dog lovers come out, the dogs love it, everyone in the community comes out and watches. I've noticed there's been a lot more people out on the street watching for it.
15 years later, there were nearly 100 pet owners and their four-legged friends making their way up and down Quinpool Road, spreading holiday cheer and turning the business district into one big festive fur ball.
I don't know, he's family, so it's just nice to get him to experience Christmas and get in the festival. Yeah.
I just love seeing all the dogs and all the people, and I love getting the family all together.
Well, it's a fun day for the family to be here, and it's a nice cause.
Last year, the parade raised $1,500 for the local SPCA, and with this year's turnout being even bigger, organizers are confident they'll top it.
I would say that this is the best year yet.
Participants warmed up with a hot chocolate while waiting for the main event, a photo with Santa himself. Have all the dogs ended up on Santa's good list?
Ho, ho, ho! All the dogs are very special, very good.
For many, it's becoming a new holiday tradition.
This is our first time, yeah.
What do you think?
It's been great. We can't believe how many dogs are here. Dudley's usually very shy, but he's done very well today, so we're very proud parents.
Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Jesse, and I loved your line, one big festive fur ball.
Doggone it, I missed it.
Oh, darn it.
Gonna take Locke next year.
Yeah.
He would love that.
Oh, absolutely. I think a lot of people would love that. Okay, we're talking about fur balls. How about snowballs?
Yeah, well, the weather conditions later on this week could maybe be best described as a dog's breakfast. It looks like it's going to be messy late Tuesday into Wednesday. Looking at a nice scene here. This is near the lock in Shuby Park. I'll have more in the forecast after.
Gavin Stubbard is a grade 8 student in St. Stephen, New Brunswick. During his school's fall food drive, he collected 3,315 items, continuing a tradition in recent years of bringing in impressive hauls of food and personal care donations. Part of his effort includes writing letters and meeting with local businesses. Throughout the process, Gavin says he's learned how some donations are needed that may not be the first that come to mind.
I didn't know that diapers were a thing that they needed. Stuff for elders and babies was needed. I've been doing this for 3 years now, so I think it started out small. I didn't have a goal. Then it gradually got bigger and bigger, and for my last year I wanted to go really big.
Way to go, Gavin. Gavin says he'll try to continue the tradition even when he enters high school. Altogether, students at St. Stephen Middle School collected more than 7,000 items during this fall's food drive. Kaylin, impressive and just like a testament to the power of many hands making light work, huh?
Yeah, 7,000 is incredible. So fantastic work, absolutely. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. And for that, we're going to go to Summerside in Prince Edward Island, where there's a little bit of cloudiness there that was breaking up gradually throughout the day as we got in behind a weather front around the Maritimes. It mostly brought us rain late Sunday into early this morning, though northwestern areas of New Brunswick did pick up some snowfall amounts of between around 2 and 12 centimeters. That is not the last of a mix of snow and rain we're going to be contending with here in the region as we move throughout this week. Now, barometric pressure is starting to rise a little bit in behind the passage of that weather front. Our next weather system, though, is getting its legs underneath it right now down around the Gulf of Mexico. It's a fast-moving system, so it's going to be headed to the eastern seaboard by the start of the day for tomorrow. There, it is going to strengthen into a storm as it's energized between very cold air that's in place over parts of the continent right now. Some of that sourced out of that movement of the polar vortex towards Hudson Bay and the warmer conditions over top of the Atlantic, relatively warmer conditions, that is. And that's the perfect environment to get one of these storm systems to strengthen quickly, and that'll be our weather maker late Tuesday into Wednesday. Right now, there's just a scattering of some lighter showers and a few flurries left, but we're headed into a very cold night around the Maritimes as a northwest wind draws in some of that polar sourced air, bringing in out of Quebec. So Temperatures going to be falling very quickly as we move through this evening and tonight, and very cold to start the day for tomorrow. We will begin the day with increasing cloudiness from the west by Tuesday afternoon. Some snow starting to develop in New Brunswick. This will be light snow at first. It will remain light for the northern half of New Brunswick, but become steadier for southern parts of that province, as well as areas of Prince Edward Island. And then some heavy snow expected with this weather system around northern areas of Nova Scotia, up in the Cape Breton Highlands, with other parts of Nova Scotia turning over to rain. Though that rain will be heavy at times around Atlantic coastal areas of the province. Remember, there's a couple rainfall warnings that have been issued in the southwest for Yarmouth and Shelburne counties, talking about some rainfall totals of between 40 and 60 millimeters. But let's get back to taking a look at some snowfall totals out of this weather system. So lighter snowfall amounts expected in the northern half of New Brunswick. Fredericton, Miramichi, St. Stephen could end up in the 5 to 10 centimeter range between 6 p.m. Tuesday and 6 p.m. Wednesday. 10 to 20 centimeters of snow, though, is possible beginning around St. John, but the chances of that become higher as you get into Sussex and the Kennebecasis Valley, Moncton, the southeast New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. So some snowy road conditions, winter driving conditions developing for that part of the Maritimes as we make our way through Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. For Nova Scotia, the snowiest areas look like it'll be Cumberland, Colchester counties, Pictou, and Antigonish counties, and down through the Annapolis Valley. Through that part of mainland Nova Scotia, 10 to 30 centimeters, with the higher snowfall amounts most likely at higher elevations. And speaking of heavy snow and higher elevations, the Cape Breton Highlands as well. Those higher elevations could pick up some snowfall amounts in excess of 20, even 30 centimeters of snow. Again, towards Atlantic coastal areas of Nova Scotia, it is expected to turn over to rain. Taking a look at winds in the forecast over the next 24 hours, winds for tomorrow are variable in direction, a little bit lighter than they were today, sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour, but a north and northeast wind will become high and gusty by early Wednesday morning, and it continues on into Wednesday afternoon. So expect windier conditions on Wednesday as the last of that snow-rain mix moves through the Maritimes. Here's the low temperatures for tonight. Very cold, most lows several degrees below the freezing mark, some down to the minus double digits. A large part of New Brunswick tonight with low temperatures between minus 10 and minus 17. High temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow are going to be cold to chilly across the region. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 6-year-old Eloise St. Ange from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Eloise has sent us a drawing of the northern lights seen over the trees. Thank you very much. And weather watchers can come in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So the King's Landing Historical Settlement is well known for shining a spotlight on the past, but as CTV's Nick Moore shows us this holiday season, they've given that mission a holiday flair.
It's the King's Landing Historical Settlement in a brand new light.
So yes, we know Christmas lights didn't exist 200 years ago.
And while it is a priority for the site to offer an authentic look at life in New Brunswick during the 1800s, early feedback for Christmas Village Aglow, which began last week, appears to give a nod of approval to this bright exception.
I thought it was fantastic. Nice old buildings and whatnot.
The Christmas lights were all gorgeous. The church in the middle is just breathtaking.
We're seeing support both from people who are long-standing King's Landing fans and then people who maybe either have never been or haven't been in a long time. We're giving them another reason to come back and enjoy King's Landing.
Work began in mid-October to start putting everything up, but planning has been underway for well over a year, with lights tailor-made for some of the site's most iconic structures.
We're using the lights to highlight the buildings themselves, to honor the buildings themselves.
In addition to this being the first large-scale light show at King's Landing, there will also be an opportunity later in December for vehicles to drive through a portion of the village for the event, something the public has never been able to do before.
The lights are so special and it brings that Christmas glee, I'm going to use that word. So we want everyone to be able to have a chance to see the lights for themselves, even if they can't make the walk.
The event runs Wednesday through Sunday until December 21st, with 2 additional days on December 27th and 28th. Tickets for the event must be bought online.
I thought it was pretty amazing, pretty magical, especially with the fallen snow.
I'm hoping that they'll continue to do it in future years.
That is the goal, and in case you were wondering, no, the lights will not be left on the buildings year-round. Nick Moore, CTV News, Prince William, New Brunswick.
Thank you, Nick. Time for a break. When we come back, we'll serve up this story.
Hi, I'm Darcy from Bentley's Burgers and Fries, and I'm here to tell you the story about a mistaken order from Alabama.
A restaurant in West Chesapeake, Nova Scotia received a special payment recently. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, a customer from Alabama wanted to make good on an order error.
My name's Darcy Clark, and we used to be a concrete business, the wife and I, and then we started Bentley's Burgers and Fries after we retired. Named after this fine-looking specimen right here. Say hi, Bentley. We specialize in smashed burgers, filthy fries, pizza, and we haven't looked back since. Bentley's Burgers and Fries, how can we help you? October 1st, the phone rang. We noticed it was an out-of-town number, but we get a lot of tourists, so we took the call. I took their order, 2 burgers, 2 fries. Time went on, we figured they must have got lost, flat tire, etc. And then we thought no more of it. Somebody came that night, we gave the food out free, and a month later, I went to the mail, and this here letter was in the mail. Well, inside the letter was a old school, old-fashioned, handwritten note. And it reads the following. I placed an order to 2 singles and 2 fries on October 1st. Was able to come get it because obviously we live in the USA. Feel bad about it, and we're going to enclose $40. Hopefully it pays for the meal. God bless. There's hope for humanity yet. You want some of that fancy ketchup? We put the letter online as a nice thing on our website saying, you know, people are kind and nice. And then we get all these comments and stuff, and it's gone viral. So for these fine people, what we're doing is we're putting a little thing together from the East Coast here. We're going to give them a Christmas card. We got some stickers from Bentley's Burgers we're going to give them, and our seasoning from Bentley's Burgers and Fries we're going to give them, along with a photocopy of all the nice comments from people about the letter. And everything's made with love here. We were overwhelmed with the letter. For people to do that today, they're raised with morals, that's for sure. And my father thought it would be a good thing to do by keeping the letter and the money so that when my wife and I are in our 70s, it'll be something nice to look back on. And again, there's still hope for humanity. That's how I felt about it. It was heartwarming. Thank you. Thank you for choosing Bentley's today.
What a great story.
Lots of good karma going on there. Now I want a hamburger as well.
I do too. They look delicious. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Instead, though, coming up at 6, instead of eating a hamburger, I'm going to be talking more about that mix of some heavy snow and heavy rain headed our way the middle part of this week.
Excellent. We'll see you and Todd at 6 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Thanks for watching, everybody.